introduce our little...
No, just go for it.
We're just gonna go for it.
Okay.
Okay. I haven't read this much, so I'm not anyway. So here goes. Rebecca walks into the club sorry, I'll start over. Rebecca walks into the club just as she has every week for the past few years since college. The stink of smoke, sweat, and alcohol push against her as she makes her way to the bar. Men already eyeing her, hoping to be the one to go home with her tonight. Throughout the night, various men flirt with her, some who have experienced her before. Then a man walks in. His walk, his clothes, his atmosphere so great, yet humble. This man walks up to Rebecca, eyes connecting with hers. He barely notices the way she's dressed, skirt barely covering anything, heels high, shirt low, makeup caked. The man saw her loneliness, not in her attire, but in her eyes. He heard them scream, "I want." He took her by the hand, and in the most loving, compassionate, and sincere way said, "I will take care of you. Will you be mine?"
Falling through our minds like a pickup truck. The question, what? Why such a man so high in society, so esteemed, and so decreed a king, would hunger for companionship with a woman such as she? One, mind you, who is looked down on by all of society. An unfaithful woman lurking in the shadowy corners. Why? A man so pristine sink to such a point as this? Marriage to a woman who clearly tarnished, mocks her own reality. Every night another man, the name doesn't matter. Desperate, yet now here's one of proper standing. What is this? Such a man, she contends, cannot exist. What love would take a woman like this? Yet here before her stands what she deems the perfect man, looking perhaps naively past what she perceives, the life worth nothing, or so she's believed.
Rebecca is filled with disbelief, yet she bears a son for her husband. They name him Jacob. Rebecca's flings are anything but harmless to Jacob. The kids at school ostracize him and mock him for his slut of a mother. They tell him how they've seen his mother sneaking past their open doors at night. Jacob is constantly reminded of his mother's immorality and has to face her every day. All he sees when he looks at her is the slutty mother his friends tell him she is.
Put down, push back, no fault of his own. Nothing wrong, he never fell short, just tossed a bad bone. You gotta understand that Jacob never did anything on his own to be rejected. The only mark on his record being birthed by the wrong mother, picked on and glared upon. Every word like a verbal electric chair, simply due to one woman too open to society. Reality. Not like other boys and girls am I, says Jacob. All the men going to and fro, sleek and slide past my door, hoping no sound of the squeaking floor makes it to my ear. But it does like a feather in my ear, but a stone in my soul, breaking me down with every step. I don't want them here. I don't like knowing the truth of who I am. What did I do? I shouldn't be held responsible for my maternal origins. I'm so tired of being alone, rejected, shoved in the mud, left out of the masses. On my chest, on my wrist, there must be a mark making me less. I'm so sick of living like a criminal, waiting for my silent cries to be heard.
Dying, Rebecca and Jacob live their lives. Jacob dies a little every day. He comes home from school with bruises. He moves around like a dog with a drunken owner. Hopelessly, he walks to school, knowing that another kid will kick him and punch him or spit on him for what they heard his mother did the weekend before. Rebecca hopelessly walks to the club every weekend. Each man she sleeps with takes a little more of her. Soon she will be gone, leaving only an empty shell for new men to use and pass on to the next one.
Yet peering...
Sorry, just took a pause. Right. The spark of their marriage, at least for her, had dwindled with time. Her husband knew she would go back before they were even married. He stands at the window most weekends, watching the alcohol drive her memory away from him. Away of him. Though he has been nothing short of perfect to her. Each weekend he sees her go home with another man, but he stays faithful. Both hopeless and in need of something. Anything.
yet peering through the curtains that is their life. Staring hard, peeled back, there must be something more. Beneath all the dirt, under shadow, the light must still exist. Yet how could it? Such hope could not come from myself, Rebecca says. True, we cannot create hope from pure hopelessness. To be fully redeemed, something outside of her must happen. Yes, someone, in fact, who must provide the formula. But what is it made up of? Love, the first ingredient, but it needs to be passion. Grace, but it must stay permanent. Mercy need also be included. Mercy must be heard unmuted. Where in the world could she find such a person? So quickly, she has forgotten. Forgotten that the one comprising the formula thinks of her each night, wondering, is she all right? In the shadows of dawn, he awakes and he wonders where she's been, but he never asks. He looks at her lovingly, saying, come in.
Years of this promiscuity pass by, the husband increasingly heartbroken but never leaving. His wife's once wanting eyes have turned to joy, but now death has replaced the joy. Jacob has become desensitized to the beatings at school. Her husband loves her very much, even though he knows everything she has done. After seeing how she and Jacob have become so dead inside, he can't stand by and watch them suffer anymore. Sunday comes again, another weekend, another man. She sneaks through the back door, heels off to tiptoe into the bedroom to change out of her clothes from the night before. Her husband steps in from the kitchen, clearly up for a while. He calls her over. Head low, tears forming, she slinks into the kitchen. Through the fog of her tears, she sees her husband pull her in for a hug. He pulls back and cups her face with his soft, warm hands. He says to her, Rebecca, I love you. I can see your hurt and your pain. Come back to me. Am I not enough love for you? I've seen how those other men treat you, but look, he points to the table behind him. I am your provider, and I love you. He wipes her tears with his thumb so she can see. On the table is a variety of gifts. Roses, chocolates, meticulously made pancakes. Her tears flood back. She leaps into his arms and shouts his name. Jacob comes in, expecting a fight from all the noise. He sees his mother and the gifts, realizing everything will be better from now on. Going back to her first love, Rebecca and Jacob have life again.
The reality is, this isn't about a Rebecca. No, the story is about us, about humanity. Because just like her, we all have a longing. If only we could have such a one as she does, one comprising the formula, the antidote for the hopelessness inside of us. One who would die for us just because he loves so much, yet still living, resonating inside of us. A man so full of mercy he could never deny us. One who has grace more sufficient than all of us. Such a man does exist. If we just acknowledge him, there is hope. There is one who holds the formula. His name is Jesus.